Why most people stay broke, and it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, right? It isn't actually your fault that you're broke, but it is going to be your problem to fix in 2026. And it wasn't until I realized that for me personally, when I was in my 20s, I was repeating the same cycle every single week. And you might be going through this right now, but I'm going to give you the answer to be able to break free and actually live the life of your dreams. For anyone that doesn't know me, my name's James, and I've been an entrepreneur now for over 5 years, specifically in high ticket remote sales, but I've also done face-to-face corporate sales for 10 years. And this is what I've learned. When I was in my 20s, right, I could not be the person to say no. So if I used to get invited out on the weekends, even I was going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you can imagine, not only was I vibrating at a low frequency because I was consistently drinking, but I was also wasting my time. I was also wasting my money. But because I didn't know how to say no, yeah, I would never say yes to myself because I was always pleasing other people. So you might be in a situation right now where you don't have your tribe, yeah? And it's kind of like this middle ground. You've got your friends here, and you could say that they're your day ones, right? But they're not really serving you and they're not kind of pushing you to that next level. And then you've got maybe some guys over here that you don't really know, and maybe they're in a place where you want to be. So your friend group at the minute is, you don't want to carry on going with these particular people because they only want to go out drinking and basically doing dumb shit. They're in a 9 to 5. And look, a 9 to 5 is not bad, but they don't have an entrepreneurial mindset for growth. So they're happy to repeat the same things over and over because they don't know anything different. Again, it's maybe not even their fault because they're following the patterns of their mum and their dad, right? Which is a whole other conversation. So you're in this middle ground, right? You know you're meant for more, and you know that you don't want to keep repeating these same cycles, right? And it is only ever going to be you versus you, right? So if you know that what you're doing isn't serving you and it isn't pushing you closer to your goals, you literally have to sit back and go, right, what have I done this week that is going to push me forward? And what is taken from me? What have I said yes to, which means I'm saying no to myself? And when you start figuring out that you're saying yes more times to other people, it can be your own family, it can be your partner, and you're saying no to yourself, right? That's probably the reason why you have a lack of confidence, because if you can't say yes to yourself, right, how are you ever going to become the person that you want to be? You might have plans to go to the gym. You might have plans to go to an event to get educated, a mastermind. But if you don't have anyone to go with, you now feel like obviously that lone wolf. And that is for some people scary because there's no validation from, your peers, your family, your friends, right? But I guarantee you that when you go into that particular community, that mastermind, a different environment, right? And yeah, you might have to be vulnerable. You're going to be like, this is where the fuck I'm supposed to be. These people are speaking my language, and these people have a vision of being somebody, yeah? Bringing a better good to humanity, right? So go and book the mastermind. Go in and get uncomfortable, right? Because success is going to be right outside of your comfort zone. And that is really going to give you, like, that step of fear is only going to elevate you the more times you do it, because the more times that you do it, you're going to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And this is something that I had to go through in my early 30s, I knew that the environment that I was in wasn't serving me. Like, I kept repeating the same cycle. And I had to literally go to the other side of the world to find my tribe, yeah? To be around loads of entrepreneurs. And that's why I'm in Bali, because it lifts me up. It has everything that I need, right? Doesn't mean that Bali is the right place for you. There could be anywhere in the world. It could be Dubai, it could obviously be Thailand, it could be Asia. could be anywhere. But if you're a young person right now and you know that the job that you're doing, it isn't giving you any new like skills, right? You know you've hit your cap. And I had a call yesterday with this young lady from South Africa. Like, she is going to absolutely crush remote sales, right? She was like, look, I'm making $3,000 a month. And I said that I want to learn sales. I want to learn more skills, but the company is not willing to give her the training, right? It's basically like, look, you've got your job, do as you're told, and make your money. And she obviously has to ask for time off, right? So like, you can understand that there are millions of people out there in that situation. I was one of them. You know, I was a high performing sales rep, right? Face to face, commission only. And I had to basically ask for time off, right? Which, again, I get it, right? You know, you need to make sure that the business is stable, because if every sales rep has the same 1 or 2 weeks off, like, then business is going to go down. I get that. But I was being dictated to by someone else of telling me when I could literally go on holiday and spend time with my loved ones. And that's when it just hit me, man. Like, I was like, I can't work for anyone else. Like, I have got to go out there into this world. And yeah, I had 10 years worth of, you know, skills in face-to-face sales. So it did serve me very well. And that's why I came into high ticket remote sales and crushed it, right? And that's why I love helping people come into this space. But what I'm really trying to get at is, you know that what you're currently doing isn't going to get you to that next level. Your environment, your friends, your family, your job, right? Maybe you're at a point in your life where you could be having a midlife crisis. You could be in your 30s, right? And you're like, do you know what? Is this going to be me for the next another 10 years? And the answer is yes, if you don't do fucking anything about it and you're not willing to change. If you're not willing to break your paradigm of how you see making money or how you see the world, right? Because if you label yourself, right, as an identity of like, you know, I am a bricklayer, you know, I am an accountant, you know, I am a doctor, right? And that is what you tell yourself every day of who you are. No. That is what makes you money. But that doesn't determine who you are, right? So you have to shift your perspective on how you see things and stop labeling yourself that you're this person. Otherwise, you will put yourself in a clear box and you'll lock yourself in a box and you'll make yourself feel small and you will never, ever even be able to get out of the box. And the box, the cage, is see-through. And the key is in your back pocket, because the day that you say, F this, I am done with this life, that is when you put the key in and you unlock the box and you walk out free and you go, do you know what? It's scary, but it's more scary staying in this box, being a people pleaser, doing the same shit week in, week out, and never, ever even trying. And that is why most people are broke, because they are worried about what their peers think when they try and do something different. But you need to ask yourself this, right? And you've heard this saying many times. What is more scary is getting to 90, 100, 120, because I believe with biohacking, we're going to live a lot longer, right? Getting to your deathbed and being like, why didn't I just go after my passion? Something that actually filled my cup up and not working for someone else for 30, 40, 50 years and building their dreams, yeah? And the number one reason is a lot of the time is because you don't have a step-by-step clear roadmap to be able to learn a new skill. It is literally like your mindset is, right, I need to go to university, which is a broken system, you know? I don't have the right skills or the right education, but you're watching YouTube right now and you can pretty much learn anything from YouTube, but you need to be disciplined. And you need to obviously do the compound effect, which is you need to chew on glass for like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, because the compound effect is real, right? You obviously heard from Warren Buffett, yeah? If you can make money while you sleep, that is when you know that the compound effect is working, yeah? Because passive income, in my opinion, for young entrepreneurs is a myth, because you are going to have to do a consistent amount of work of building a business to get it to a point where you have such an incredible team, a great culture, that you don't need to be in the business. Yeah. And that could take 5, 10, even 20 years. So I'm going on a rant, right? But I wish that I could hear this when I was my younger self, because it made me understand that I had to leave my environment and go to the other side of the world to finally find myself, build an incredible business, and help a lot of people to be able to change their life. So you need to look yourself in the mirror, right? And just say, are you truly happy with the person you're becoming? Or do you feel like you're having a little bit of a dip, which is completely fine? You may feel a little bit lost. But then you just need to do the simple thing. Who is it and what group do I consistently keep saying yes to? And does that mean I'm saying no to me? So how do I say no to others so that I can say yes to myself? And once you figure that out, right, you will start to love yourself more. You will start to treat yourself with a lot more care and dedication. And I guarantee you, you will find that gap and you will have that clear direction of where you want to go, because you chose to have stillness. And when you have stillness, you get time to think clearly, not emotionally. Yeah? Because most people that sometimes obviously can have a short temper, I did in my 20s, right? You obviously are emotional and you don't think clearly. So every time that you get triggered by someone, right, ask yourself this, right? They now have control over you because they're triggering you, yeah? Which is now not letting you operate to think clearly, which is taking you off the track of the destination of where you want to go. So when you can have control of your thoughts and your thinking from the feelings that are created from the triggers that are coming to you, all of a sudden you now have control over your mind, which means that you have a lot more clearer path to get to where you want to go. Look, and if this has resonated with you and you're someone that believes that you are a very confident person, you love talking to people, you believe that sales is something that you have done, but you haven't done remote high ticket sales specifically, right? Go through all of my content, go follow me on Instagram, yeah? Or if you're someone who's an action taker and you truly believe that you're meant for more, then book a call with myself and my team. Let's have a conversation about how we could help completely, yeah, transition your career, yeah? So not only that you can communicate better, you can make more money. Because I'll let you into a secret, right? There are only 2 things why a family unit breaks down and a relationship. One is communication. And we all can learn to communicate better, because at the end of the day, sometimes silence is communication. Yeah. And number 2 is finances. Once you master these 2 things, right, you now have a stronger family unit, you now have a stronger relationship, which means that you have a better quality of life so that you can actually go and see this beautiful world, because what part of anyone doesn't want to see the world? So go and book a call if you're an action taker and you're like, do you know what? I want to work with yourself, James, and the team. I can see myself doing this. Go and look at all the testimonials, because you're really going to understand that when you commit and you say no to others and you put yourself forward and you say yes, believe me, you're going to pay close attention to getting the outcome.